everybody, it's Jackie Viramontez. I'm in my little back studio and I want to talk to you about something that isn't a topic that we would normally want to work on, because who wants to have compassion for a self-righteous person? And that is the topic of this week. When a client came to me dealing with this, how to deal with someone who is just defensive and self-righteous and their way is the right way. And being the wise client that they are, they wanted to understand how to work with that as opposed to just judging. So I found it really interesting. And then, as it always happens, 3 more people brought up dealing with defensive, self-righteous people. So I thought, I'm going to take a hint and let's explore this. So what we'll talk about in this video is what's actually happening energetically when someone's self-righteous, and then what's happening chemically, and then what can we do about it? Since we can't change anyone else, how can we change ourselves or our approach so that we can not have our peace stolen? So here is the energy of self-righteousness. And when I think energetically, I always think in analogies and imagery because that's what comes up for me. So if you're a visual person, take it and run with it. If you have another analogy that comes to you, drop it in the comments below. But here's the gist. I want you to imagine that there is a really valuable, prized possession. It's so fragile that the owner builds a box around it and they lock the box because they don't want anyone to steal it. And then imagine that they still don't trust because someone could find the box and steal and take the box. So then they build a room and a wall around that prized possession. But then they wonder, well, if someone comes into the room and takes over, they could still take possession of my good thing. So I'm going to build a wall around it. I might even put soldiers to defend and protect my prized possession. This is the exact energy of self-righteousness. That person you know, that boss you have, that uncle you have that you don't want to sit next to at the family dinner, that friend, that boyfriend of your friend that you just do not like hanging out with, they have a prized possession that they feel is so fragile, so vulnerable to being stolen, that they build walls around it. They lock it away. They might put soldiers outside it to protect it, and it comes across as defensiveness and self-righteousness. And what is that prized possession? It's their rightness and their goodness. What is righteousness? It's such a layered word, but in this situation, I would say it's that thing of I am right, I am good, I have righteousness, right? Why would your uncle, why would your friend's boyfriend, why would your coworker, why would your boss be so self-righteous? At one point, they got in their head that this prized possession of goodness and rightness was fragile, that it could be stolen. Are you tracking with me in this analogy? At one point, they had someone tell them, they had a culture tell them, they had a religion tell them, you and your goodness are not solid. You can't trust that your goodness or rightness will always be there. You can't trust that you will always have and be able to value and be able to use your goodness and rightness. You have to protect it. You have to defend it. You have to be on the lookout for people who might want to take it from you. So I want you to imagine that it's a coworker, or let's do a family member because that's always great. You have a family member and everything you say, you might make a comment on their outfit, you might make a comment on their political views, you might make a comment about your political views, and all of a sudden they latch, they jump. It's because someone who has a really fragile sense of rightness or goodness, they are hyper vigilant to anything, any sign that it might be in threat. So if you so much as say a differing opinion, if you say something that seems to disagree with them, their way of being, who they are, even if you're not implying that, if it just hints at that by differing at all, they're going to go, oh, it's at stake, let me defend it. Are you tracking with this metaphor? So I'm not asking you to empathize with that self-righteous person. I'm not asking you to try to spend more time with them. What I'm challenging us all to do as a group, as a community, is to start asking new questions. So instead of saying, oh, why is that person such an ass? We start asking, or how do I convince this person that they're wrong? Well, how do I convince this person they're dumb? We tend to go in the same self-righteous cycle when matched with it. What if we started asking new questions? And I'll read exactly what I wrote below, and it's, what are they truly defending? So when you encounter this person, what are they truly defending? Is it their goodness? Is it their rightness? Do they feel like I think they're wrong? They feel like I think they're bad? Do they feel like I think they're inadequate, inferior, inept? What are they defending? A lot of times at the root, it's like goodness and rightness, but that can come across as, respectable, intellectual, smart, in the know, prestigious. What are they truly defending? And then we start to ask what experiences may have taught them that they needed to defend that. What experiences taught them that they felt the need to defend that? And if it's a family member, you might know their parent. And like, well, of course they were made to feel inadequate and dumb. Of course they're insecure. Or of course they're always defending their goodness. They were the bad kid and they were always told they were bad. They never lived up to their parents' standard. And again, are we asking this so that we have to be best friends with this person, that we have to schedule more time with them? No. We're doing it so that we don't get sucked in and take it personally. So really, what experiences taught them and who taught them that this prized possession could be stolen? So I think it makes perfect sense that religions that have a culture around you're innately bad, you're innately sinful, which is a lot of religions, and I don't even think it's the true intention of the religion, but a lot of religious leaders have warped the message of these beautiful truths to say you're bad and you should carry shame. I think it makes total sense why stereotypically some of those religions have a lot of self-righteous followers or people. Because if you're told by your culture you're bad, you think you have to defend that till the death, literally. So we're going to start asking new questions. And what does this do chemically? So we talked about energetically what's going on. So if you switch your energy from taking it personally to going, wow, what are they truly defending and who taught them that was up for grabs? Why don't they just trust that they're smart enough, good enough, right? Why are they trying to prove it so hard? That shifts your energy of someone who's not taking it personally, and then you're not going to not attract it as much, but you're not going to perpetuate a cycle. You're not going to feed their fire because you're going to go, okay, you might just listen more curiously as opposed to you putting walls up because it's not personal. What's happening chemically? Well, chemically, whenever we're in a situation of defense, that's telling your body, we're in fight mode. We're in fight mode. And anytime you get in that defensive mode, you can think, yep, armor's going on. Cortisol, adrenaline is going to kick up a notch. And that's not good for us. It's not good for our immunity, for our health, for our reproductive hormones, for our aging process. So chemically, when you move out of that defense place to match the self-righteous person, like I need to prove to them that they're a dummy so they stop being so self-righteous, which never works. We move back into that place of rest where we don't create more of that cortisol, adrenaline, and we're taking our body out of a stress state and into that rest and digest state. So we're boosting immunity, we're boosting our health, we're slowing the aging process. So the next time you meet a self-righteous person, go, what a good chance for me to slow my aging, boost my immunity, increase some happy hormones like endorphins, and maybe even some of those love bonding hormones by asking, wow, what have they been through? Like what inner child in them was told that this was up for grabs? And you might feel some empathy, which floods you chemically with all these great hormones. But for the ever-evolving you, it's just nice to have that power to not be sucked in, not take it personally, and to ask new questions that are rooted in love and truth and compassion. So I know this is all easier said than done. So in this week's meditation, you'll be guided to think of that self-righteous person in question that really rubs you the wrong way and that does get to you. And by the end of the meditation that uses EFT tapping and breath work, question tapping, hopefully you'll be in a place where you're back rooted in yourself, not taking it personally and having a bit more compassion so you don't have to take on all that energy and that chemistry of stress, fear, and defensiveness. All right. If you have any insights or questions, let me know, and I'll see you in the next resource.